One evening, I answered the phone to a very distressed lady. "Is that Mark Bajerski?" she asked, anxiously. "Yes, it is," I replied quickly. "Mark, I really need your help. My daughter is suffering so very much. We have tried everything and she continues to get worse. I'm very worried what might happen if she cannot find some kind of peace." I stopped the caller at this point, explaining that it is better if I don't know any further details. It is how I work, and this method ensures that the truth and light come through. I do not bring any confusion into a reading or healing from prior knowledge in my mind. The following day, mother and daughter arrived at my studio. The moment I greeted them, I knew I had to speak to the daughter on her own. I could also tell instantly that she was an old soul. I identify an old soul as a person who has been to this world many, many times. Characteristically, they are calm, sensitive, loving, caring, passionate, creative people, and they have a deep sense of always wanting to help. This was confirmed by the amazing energy which flooded the room as we entered my studio. Looking deep into her eyes, I saw a very special girl, one who needed a little love and understanding to help with issues that had taken their toll on this beautiful young girl. She needed a reminder of who she was, for it was clear that she had forgotten. I explained in loving words that sometimes being a sensitive and empathic person can make it difficult to understand the actions of others, and her journey is one of much greater importance. I explained to her that she is an earth angel, someone who shines a light for others to see, and what that means in terms of her path. I helped her to see that the challenging time she was dealing with was indeed a hard test, but, as she had very special qualities, it was a time she would be able to handle, and all would be well. All the while, this girl was nodding her head in agreement. As an old soul, she had always understood, but she just needed the confirmation. Tears were flowing from her eyes. You could feel tremendous healing taking place. She could feel the energy of spirit in the room, and she knew she was in safe hands. I had seen what was going on in her life at that very moment, and she believed me when I told her that everything would be fine. She smiled, and I knew the words had touched her heart. I asked if I could call her mother in to join us. She smiled again and agreed. As her mother sat down, it was such a relief for her to see that a huge weight and pressure had been lifted from her child. It was then time to begin the pure energy healing for her daughter. As she lay on my healing bed, I placed my healing oil on her forehead. Within seconds there was a dramatic change of vibration in the room. It was so intense, as if the room were on fire. At this point there was no doubt in my mind. Spirit was in the room and about to come close. I was seated at the top of her head, her body stretched out in front of me. From there I could check her chakras and the energy flowing down to the tips of her toes. I felt and saw something then that I have never felt before in all my years as a healer. At the foot of the bed, hovering over the feet of this beautiful girl, were 3 dazzling white orbs of light. I was completely mesmerized and uplifted. I felt total peace, joy, and pure emptiness, the feeling of everything being exactly as it was meant to be, complete perfection. I had never experienced that feeling before, and it is something I now work towards achieving every day. I turned round to see how her mother was reacting to the orbs. I was again amazed by what I saw. Her head was bowed down against her chest with her eyes closed, but her left hand was raised above her head and her finger was pointing directly at the orbs. I was totally awestruck and almost tempted to wake the mother up to confirm that I wasn't going crazy. It struck me, however, that her outstretched arm was confirmation enough that what was happening in this divine moment was very real. It also seemed it was meant for my eyes only. Had Spirit intended it, then she too would see. If not, then so be it. About an hour had passed, and the healing session ended with the orbs slowly disappearing. I asked the young girl to open her eyes slowly and sit up. Her mother was crying gently as she asked what had happened. She said she had felt herself fall asleep, but also that her arm was being lifted, though she couldn't raise her head. I smiled and said, "Don't question this. Look up and say thank you, for we have had some beautiful help today." It was then time for the mother to have healing. Very calmly, her daughter sat down in my comfy chair, got out a book, and started writing in it as if nothing had happened. The healing for her mother was quite intense because of what her daughter had been going through. When the healing had ended, we hugged, and I turned to her daughter. My eyes were drawn to the book she was writing in. To my surprise, I realized she had not been writing, but sketching an image. For the third time since this girl arrived, the powerful presence of spirit was once again confirmed. Her sketches were of beautiful angels. I asked the girl, "Where do you copy these pictures from?" She replied, "From nowhere. They just come into my mind." As it always is with synchronicity, the helping hand of spirit, I know this wonderful girl is here to raise the vibration of angels and the light in this world. I felt incredibly blessed and humbled that Spirit had appeared so vividly to me that day with her. A divine moment which is imprinted on my soul. It has completely changed my life. It was a turning point, and since then I have never questioned or doubted the power and miracles of Spirit. Conclusion. There will always be times in our lives when we need a helping hand. None of us is an exception to seeking this universal love. Do not be fooled by the term emptiness. When we empty our minds, we clear away our fears, doubts, and worries, and in that divine moment we can connect to the oneness, allowing the power of Spirit to flow through us. We are all equal and we all deserve Spirit's helping hand. You are no different to the lady I write about, and if you truly sit and think for a moment, you may have a flashback to a divine moment when Spirit touched your soul. If not today, then perhaps tomorrow this reminder will come. For me, this divine moment not only healed any doubt that I really am working with Spirit, but it confirmed to the three of us, through our own personal experience on that day, that Spirit truly exists. Faith is a personal relationship. Spirit comes to you, not to the masses or the media. Faith is your spiritual path. One of the greatest lessons throughout all experiences in this world. From birth to death, did we hold on to our faith? Did we continue to believe? We are always being given signs and sparks of divine moments to help us hold on to our faith. Our own faith is the only thing that remains pure in this world. It remains pure in our souls. Watching over us are many beautiful spirits, helping us as far as our path allows. Ultimately, we each have our own divine path of learning. It is the reason why we are here. Spirit knows how much they can help without interference in our challenges. Often, as we go through many challenges, Spirit gently guides us to the right place where we find beautiful souls who have experienced the same or similar challenges, or who may be a channel for Spirit at the very moment when they are needed.